This is Think Out Loud on OPB. I'm Dave Miller. For 7 years now, artists of all ages have been given a very simple prompt. Take a skateboard and turn it into a work of art. It's called the Skate Deck Art Show. It's put on by Portland's ADX, or the Art Design Xchange. This year's show includes work from more than 230 artists. Syd Spencer is the ADX community manager and curated this show, and she joins us now. It's great to have you on Think Out Loud.
It's great to be here. Thanks for having me.
What was the original idea behind this event?
Yeah, so at ADX, we host several community shows throughout the year. And throughout, several years of doing these kind of community showcases, we learned pretty quickly that having a common, what we call substrate or common canvas, is a really great way to include a wide range of artists rather than trying to customize different sizes and accommodate all kinds of different mediums and styles. Hosting everybody on a similar canvas allows for bringing in a bunch of artists into the show. You
find that it lowers the barrier for entry?
Absolutely. Yeah. It makes it really easy for people to get involved. And it makes it a lot easier on us to hang the show so we can have capacity to do a lot more of the programming.
So handy for you as well.
Absolutely, yeah.
This is now the seventh annual show, as I mentioned.
Sure is.
How has it grown or evolved since 2019?
Yeah. It's definitely grown quite a bit. So throughout the years, we've seen a huge expansion in people's ability to kind of transform the skateboard. Kind of at the onset, we saw more of a conventional painting or, kind of vinyl wrapping of a skateboard. And then each year after year, as people attended the opening of the show, they saw how people are kind of shifting the medium a little bit and breaking out of the mold of the skateboard. And so each subsequent year, we've seen more sculptural pieces, different mediums like glass and ceramic come into play, even textiles, 3D work that is coming out of the skateboard. So, really the exciting thing about this show is that the boards don't have to be rideable or functional. They're just incredible pieces of art. So it's almost as though you're walking into a really bizarre skate shop where none of the boards are actually really rideable, but they're just these incredible pieces of art.
But some of them could be rideable?
Yeah.
Are some of them actually ridden? I mean, people put wheels on them and then say, this is my skateboard?
Definitely, yeah. So at the opening night, we were really happy to be partnered with Commonwealth Skateboarding, who had a little pop-up in our parking lot where they were selling wheels and trucks. And, people in theory could get the trucks and wheels for the skate deck that they purchased. And after the show wraps and they receive their skate deck that they bought, they can kit it out and ride it all the way out into the sunset.
What are the age ranges of the artists?
Yeah. It's a huge range. It's really cool. I think the youngest person we had this year was 10 years old. Huh. Yeah. And, the oldest, I'm not sure. But it's a big
an
range.
Adult.
Yeah.
What's it like to be curating art made by people of such diverse ages?
Yeah. Diverse ages and, diverse backgrounds, I think, is also a really cool part of it. My role in the curation process is always really exciting because I never really know what is going to be brought to me. Our guidelines for submission for this show are super broad, and the show isn't juried, so anybody can enter the show, and if you enter, you're in. So my only true guidelines are that it has to fit in the dimensions, and it has to be able to be hung. So outside of that, people can go kind of all different directions. For my process, I really try to create a mix of styles and kind of phases of people's art careers mixed in with one another. So, emerging artists next to established professional artists is something that I think looks really interesting on a gallery wall and kind of feeds into the ethos of the show of being like a show rooted in community values of, we're all participating in this together, and we want to create this show together.
Do you think that visitors would immediately know who is the emerging artist and who is the established one as they walk around?
It's possible that they might not. I think that's a really interesting part of it. we have gallery tags that provide some additional information, including social media of the person who created the deck. So, visitors are welcome to kind of follow the rabbit hole for the artists that really speak to them, and they can discover more about the work that they're seeing. And if they really resonate it with that deck, they can kind of continue to follow that artist. So it's a cool way for even emerging artists to gain more of a following and more recognition in the community.
Did any themes emerge this year when you looked at, more than 200 decks that are now up on the walls? Were there any sort of common threads?
Yeah, so I believe, every year we see kind of creative themes surrounding strong political movements of the times. Last year we saw a lot of boards kind of reflecting a Palestinian struggle and kind of creating that into art. This year we saw a lot of thoughts about the ICE protests down at the ICE building. Somebody did a really fascinating collage with that. Others had just like strong statements on their boards. So political statements are one. And then we see kind of those classic kind of skate motifs of like street art. Then, class like skulls and snakes and all that good stuff. And then a lot of beautiful floral and botanicals as well. So it really ranges, but lots of color and lots of fun.
How does this show fit into ADX's overall mission?
Yeah. So we're a 15-year-old women-owned art space in the Central East Side. We really strive to create a creative space for our members to engage with one another and have a community space to come and create in. So people, come into ADX for business, for community, to dive deeper into their creativity. And I think that the Skate Deck show really kind of speaks to the variety of people that can come into ADX and engage with their work there.
Are you a skater yourself?
I've dabbled in the past. I wouldn't say it is my life's work, but we had a really fun skate clinic with Stronger Skate Park, who are based out in Milwaukee, as part of the show, and they helped me kind of get more confident in my pushing and even brought in a mini ramp. So they are wonderful and really helped me learn a little bit more.
Has this show encouraged you, or is it just sort of different worlds, that this is more about art?
I think this show is really cool because it does draw in a lot of skaters who, either have had a past life skating or are currently really in that world. We've also worked to collaborate with a lot of skate brands like Commonwealth Skating and Stronger Skate Park, also including Skate Like a Girl and Portland All Wheels Welcome to this show. So I think, it has personally encouraged me quite a bit. I think it's so much fun, but I definitely am a low and slow kind of gal.
Syd, it's great to meet you. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much.
Syd Spencer is ADX Community Manager and Head Curator. Finally today, our producer Shiraz Sadiq joins me in the studio to read some of your recent feedback. Hey, Shiraz.
Hey, Dave. A couple of weeks ago, we asked folks on Facebook how they feel about authors using AI to generate ideas or even write whole books.
Mark Morgan wrote, having seen documentaries on how mass market writers write books, I frankly don't see much difference.
David Martin wrote, depends on the nature of the book. If it's some sort of instructional book, anything to improve clarity would be a bonus.
David Ream wrote, not for creative writing, maybe as an aid to organizing ideas for a creative project, but not for generating them.
And Liz Prado wrote, writing books isn't a technical task. It's an act of humanity. It's an act of creativity and exploration for the writer as well as the reader.
We also checked in with people on Facebook to see how they are preparing for heat waves this summer.
Jean Schifferins wrote Sewing in the Basement and Early Morning Watering of the Garden.
Adrian Haas wrote, working to return my yard to a native and more natural habitat, plan errands so that they are efficient, continuing to conserve water, use less, need less, treat the planet with as much kindness as possible.
Beth Parsons said, escape to the coast where it's often 20 degrees cooler. AC at home in the valley, air filters too.
And Daniel Weidinger wrote, embrace the suck for a couple of days and thank my lucky stars I don't live in an area where it's that hot half the year and humid.
Finally, we talked with a group of bookstore owners earlier this month who were celebrating Portland Book Week. We asked you about your favorite independent bookstores and got so many voicemails that they didn't all fit into the initial conversation. Here are a few more.
Hi, my name is Deanna. I live in Southwest Portland. I can't just pick one favorite bookstore. I have two. One is Annie Bloom's in Multnomah Village. I love their staff picks. They're always so knowledgeable. If I give them just a little snippet about a book I heard about on NPR, they'll find it for me. And I also love Selected Stories in Southeast on Division. Great owner, also really knowledgeable. Just reminds me of a New York or a British bookstore. They're both treasures to have here in Portland.
Hi, this is Elisa in Silverton, and my favorite bookstore is Atlas Books. It is one that just recently opened, and it's in the perfect spot where you can feel introspective and also bring family members in, young children included, and it's just an alive place.
Hi, I'm Sarah over in Vancouver, Washington, and my favorite local bookstore is Vintage Books here in Vancouver. And I love this place because of their huge selection of used books that is carefully organized so that I can find what I'm looking for, and just the laid-back atmosphere that invites me to browse leisurely and maybe spend a few moments reading before I decide on a purchase.
My name is Sal Lopez. I'm calling from Portland, Oregon, and I wanted to talk about one of my favorite bookstores, which is Board & Books. It's on Southeast Foster around 65th. And what I love about it is that when I walk in there, it's like my thinking cap is on in the best way. There's great jazz music playing. There's great books from philosophy to fiction. It's just a great place to browse, and the owner is really passionate. You can talk with him about almost any book. And there's a really cool shop dog as well.
We always welcome your comments and your questions in any form. Our voicemail number is 503-293-1983.
You can also reach us by email. Our address is thinkoutloud@opb.org. And on Facebook, we're at OPBTOL.
Thanks, Shiraz.
You're so welcome, Dave.
Tomorrow on the show, for more than a decade, Southwest Washington resident Martins Litzis has dazzled audiences with feats of strength that have won him titles like the world's strongest man. We'll hear about his career and his YouTube series for which he travels the world and participates in traditional contests of strength, from stone lifting in Basque Country to sumo wrestling in Japan. Our production staff includes Malia Fass, Rolia Hernandez, Gemma DiCarlo, senior producer Allison Frost, and managing producer Shiraz Sadiq. Nalene Silva and Layla Isbell engineer the show from the Gert Boyle studio. Our technical director is Stephen Cray, and our executive producer is Sage Van Wing. If you don't want to miss any one of our shows, you can listen wherever you get your podcasts. There's also our nightly radio rebroadcast Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Thanks so much for tuning in today to Think Out Loud on OPB and KLCC. I'm Dave Miller. Stay cool. We'll join you tomorrow.
Think Out Loud is supported by Steve and Jan Oliva, the Rose E. Tucker Charitable Trust, Ray and Marilyn Johnson, the Susan Hammer Fund of Oregon Community Foundation, and the Lang Svingard Family Fund.